So Adrian, one of the things you talk about in the book, which I really like, really resonated with me, is improving customer service by enabling customers to actually help each other.
Yes.
So I'm not always sure people think along those lines. So
Right.
Can you kind of expand on that a bit for us?
Yeah. So let me start with a piece of research that's just come out, which sort of adds to the argument in the book, and that is, it's from a company called Edelman. They're a big communications agency. They release a thing called a trust barometer, and they do it every year, big global survey, and they look at the trust that exists between individuals and institutions, whether they're business, government, media, or NGOs. And what they find, which is quite an interesting finding, and it's been happening over the last kind of few years, is that people are trusting less and less what companies say about themselves and their brands and so on and so forth, and trusting less and less what CEOs say and senior execs say, but actually trusting more people like themselves. So that just makes me think, well, actually, people like themselves include customers, right? And so why don't you try and leverage your customers, particularly your advocates, to try and help some of your new or prospective customers? Now, there's a really interesting example that comes from Carhartt, who use a really fascinating piece of technology, which on their website, when somebody's sort of exploring around, they have recruited a whole bunch of their customer advocates, and they connect them in via this chat app, which they can do on their mobile phones, kind of wherever. And so you have this chat window pops up when you've got a new customer. It says, oh, I see you're looking at this, this, and this. Would you like to talk to one of our customers who's bought a similar sort of product to get some advice around sizing and fit and suitability and so on and so forth? And their customers, they do this, they all get vetted and trained, and they get paid for their time, but there's no rules or incentives that you have to sell Carhartt product, just be useful, right? But in doing that and connecting their customers with prospective customers, that's had I think it's a 40% plus increase in the conversion rate, just because they've just gone, we can connect this group with this group and make some magic.
So it's not always obvious, I suppose, for all companies how they would do that. But do you think a very useful question is for a CEO, for a board, whatever it is, to sort of go back and say, how can we get our customers more involved? And how can we get our customers more involved with our prospects?
Yeah.
And just by exploring those, you're going to uncover some really interesting opportunities.
I think that's right. I think I would add one question before that. And the question I would ask before that is, go to your customers and or your sales team and ask them, what are the significant challenges that we face to bring customers on board? And of those challenges, they're probably perennial challenges. Can we use our customers to help us solve those kind of problems?